We're live from Fratton Park as Portsmouth faced Charlton. 15 years ago, this was a Premier League fixture, but today these two sides meet in League One with hopes of finishing in a playoff place fading fast. Well, Portsmouth were just a point outside the top six in early December, but they haven't won a league game since, and the gap between Pompey and the playoff places is as big as it has been all season. For them tonight, in come George Hurst, Sean Williams and new signing Denver Hume will make his debut. Since succeeding Nigel Adkins as Charlton boss back in October, Johnny Jackson has led the Addicts up the table. A switch to a back three has seen results improve, so can they get another at Fratton Park this evening? 3 changes for them from the last league game. Alex Gilby, Connor Washington and Adam Matthews all come in to the starting 11. Well, here's how things stand in League One right now. Charlton are 15th. It would take some run of form to see them in the playoff mix. Rotherham are top of League One with Wigan just a point behind. Sunderland sacked Lee Johnson this weekend after losing to Bolton 6-0. They sit third. Portsmouth will want 3 points tonight to keep in touch with those playoff places. They do have games in hand, though. A very warm welcome along to our Monday Night Football coming from League One this evening. Delighted to have alongside me our regular EFL pundit, Joby McAnuff. Joby, welcome along. Good to have you with me. Let's start, before we talk about the game, talking about what happened at Sunderland over the weekend. Lee Johnson has been sacked. We've just seen the league table there. They sit third. From an outside perspective and perhaps a neutral, this might be a bit of a shock. What did you make of that news?
Big shock. I think it's a ridiculous decision, if I'm being honest, Michelle. I think, yes, they've been a bit patchy in the last 6 games or so. They've had a bad month, really, only 1 win in January. And listen, when you go to Bolton, a team that has been struggling themselves, and put in the type of performance that they did, you know, to lose 6-0, and that's not the only big defeat they've had this season. You know, there are going to be questions raised about the performance, but it should be about the performance in isolation. He's lost 2 games in 14, Michelle, and they're third in the table. Yes, the expectation on the football club is huge, but they haven't got a divine right to be 10 points clear in League One. And overall, I think he's done a good job. The club is where they should be at this stage of the season, and there's a good opportunity to potentially go and get that promotion. The
thing for Lee Johnson is Jamie McAllister has gone with him, so it's going to be a complete overhaul in the coaching staff. Where do you see Sunderland going from here? What are they looking for?
Oh, good question. And I think that is, again, the never-ending cycle, I suppose, of management, but certainly what football clubs find themselves in. They've gone and recruited in the window, so he's clearly had an input into that. Now a new manager's going to have to come in and work with that existing group of players and potentially maybe add a signing or 2. There's 1 or 2 out-of-contract players that might be coming in the door there. So, listen, it's a new start, which at this time of the season is not ideal.
OK, well, let's turn our attention to tonight's game. We can hear now from Danny Cowley, who's never lost to Charlton as a head coach. He's with Emma Saunders.
Danny, you go into tonight's game 11 points off the top 6, but how much of an opportunity do you have tonight to close that gap a little bit?
Absolutely, it's a great game for us. It's one of the best stadiums in the world on a midweek game under the floodlights. So we love playing at Fratton Park. We haven't seen our supporters much this year. We've only seen them the once in January thus far. So it'd be great to see them all again this evening, and hopefully they get right behind the team.
Yeah, I'm sure they're very excited about the game, excited about seeing a new face in Denver Hume. What can he do in this side? What kind of impact can he make?
Yeah, no, we're delighted to have Denver with us. He's just the type of signing that we want to make. He's a young player, played nearly 100 games for Sunderland. We feel that there's real growth still in him, and yeah, really looking forward to see how he complements the good players we already have at the club.
Speaking of new faces, Tyler Walker, he hasn't got off the mark yet, but in your eyes, it's only a matter of time, and he's a player you know well from your previous time at Lincoln as well.
That's right, yeah. No, Tyler we've worked with before at Lincoln, and if he can do what he did for us at Lincoln here, then I'm sure he'll quickly become a fan's favourite.
Yeah, how they could do with some goals at the moment. Just 1 win from their last 6. How can...
Big concern, the lack of goals, as you say, 4 out of those 6 games failing to score. I think you look across the whole of the season, that has been a familiar tale. They've kept clean sheets, they have been difficult to beat at times, but I do think they have lacked creativity and a real out-and-out goal scorer at times. So I think bringing Tyler Walker in is a real good move. Certainly from the Cowleys' point of view, they'll be hoping that he can get himself up and running and get on the goal trail.
It's quite a startling stat that only 4 teams have scored fewer in League One this season. I was surprised when I read that, Joby. Tyler Walker, as you said, he's joined on loan from Coventry. The Cowley brothers know him from Lincoln. Could he be the answer? You've played with him before. Could this, with respect, could this standard be perfect for him to find some form?
Oh, absolutely. He's already proven, a really good goal scorer at this level. His time at Lincoln with the Cowleys, which have been really important for him, I think, coming and playing for managers that he knows really well. They clearly know how to get the best out of him. I really enjoyed playing with him during our time at Stevenage. Really good movement, sharp in and around the box, and he's a really, really good finisher off of both feet. And for me, he makes midfielders' jobs a lot easier with that movement and getting himself into the positions that he does. You see his threat in behind, which also he poses. So certainly for him, he will score goals. The bigger question, I think, for Portsmouth is who's going to create them. And that has been an issue for them this season. Yeah,
I was going to say, he'll be wanting to gel with his new teammates, but at Lincoln it was 16 and 34, which is a really impressive return. Now he knows he's done it at this level before. Is it just a question now of trying to find who he clicks with in this team?
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, he was top scorer at Coventry last season, which, again, I think would surprise a few people. He's found himself out the team this year and not played as much as he would have liked. So, again, every player wants to play regularly. He's gone to a massive football club there, and I think that would be a big incentive for him in terms of his decision. And I certainly feel, he can go and score the goals that are going to hopefully push Portsmouth up the table.
Yeah, OK, well, they face Charlton tonight, who come to Fratton Park in good spirits, knowing that they've won on the last 5 visits here, and they're unbeaten in the last 2 as well, if they want to take the positives ahead of this one. We're going to hear from Johnny Jackson next. Well, your Monday Night Football comes from League One and Fratton Park as Portsmouth face Charlton, with kick-off coming up in just a few minutes. Johnny Jackson was appointed permanent manager of Charlton back in December after taking the reins in October. Let's hear from him now with Emma Saunders.
With your exit from cup competition and your position in the league, how would you describe the aim, the ambition of this Charlton side for the second half of the season?
It's just try and finish as high as we can and see where that takes us. Obviously, every game now is significant. You're coming up against someone tonight who are above us in the league that you want to try and reel in as well. So a little bit of extra significance on that one. But yeah, we just want to try and win every game, see how far we can go, how high we can finish.
Just finally, a question on tonight's side, or perhaps a name that's lacking. No Mason Burstow, I don't think, on that team sheet. Could you tell us why?
Yeah, we've had a bid come in from a Premier League team for Mason today, so we've allowed him to go and have discussions with them. As far as I know, nothing's happened as yet. So obviously, that's going to be, he's a young lad and it's going to turn his head, isn't it? There's going to be a little bit of focus elsewhere. So we felt it best to leave him out of tonight's game.
OK, we'll leave it there. Thanks very much for your time. Good luck.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, Mason Burstow is just 18 years old. He's made a few appearances for Portsmouth this season, Joby, for Charlton rather, this season. Joby, he's been linked with a number of Premier League clubs. Chelsea have been reported to be linked with him. His first real breakthrough season with Charlton. Would you say, though, that scouts have probably had him on their radar for quite a long time? Absolutely,
and speaking to a few people at Charlton in the coaching department, they've got absolute massive hopes, or they had hopes for him. There's no surprise, certainly, that he has been linked with the type of clubs that we're hearing about, Premier League, top-end Premier League clubs. He's only 18 years of age, and clearly they see a lot of potential there. I think it's the right decision. If there has been that late interest today, it's tough to deal with. You see senior players struggling at times to deal with that speculation. So maybe, Johnny Jackson's thinking, just get him out the firing line. There might be some other issues to sort out with the speculation, and maybe let him get his head right and see what happens for the rest of the window today. Yeah, absolutely. We'll keep an eye on that this evening and keep you updated as well. Let's have a look at how Charlton have been faring then since Johnny Jackson took the reins. He's been in charge since October. It was a permanent basis from December, succeeding Nigel Adkins. Joby, he's a young coach, just 39, and you can see more wins, clean sheets. They're also conceding fewer and scoring more per game. What have you made of the start he's had? Well, they had an unbelievable start. I think certainly a little tweak in terms of the formation, went to 3 at the back. There was a lot of chopping and changing under Nigel Atkins, rotation. I think what Johnny Jackson's gone in and done is just said, right, this is the way we're going to play. Been really set really clear in his messaging. He's put some players in that have done really, really well for him. The wing-backs have been really important. I think the big test now is after that initial bounce that they get, they had a little bit of and they're on a bit of a sticky spell now. Is it a matter of teams maybe working them out a little bit, getting to know their system? Is there enough variation in their game now that teams have seen it to go out and get those results and get those performances? But again, from where they were, he's done an absolutely fantastic job there.
I mean, he's the former Charlton captain as well, isn't he? Does that add an extra sort of passion for him to be involved with a club that he clearly adores? We've seen the passion a number of times, and he sort of served his apprenticeship as well under a number of sort of coaching stuff, hasn't he?
Oh, he's certainly done his time in terms of the coaching and his service to the football club, and I think fans want to see people that are passionate and that they care, and certainly he had the experience as a number 2 and he deserved his opportunity, and now he's got it. So now it's about going out there as the main man, as the manager, and you need to get results to stay in a job. All that doesn't count for anything. If they're not winning games, as we've seen at Sunderland, you're going to be out the door. So he'll be hoping they can win tonight and get themselves, again, on a bit of a better run than they have been of late.
Yeah, Fratton Park under the lights on a Monday night. It looks tasty. Let's get to our commentary team of Don Goodman and Gary Taphouse.
Yes, thank you, Michelle. There's always a raucous, rumbustious atmosphere here at this famous old ground, especially under the lights. And tonight is no exception. Both clubs seemingly on the up, and with games in hand, could they yet launch a playoff bid in the second half of the season? Well, Danny Cowley hands a debut to Denver Hume after his move from Sunderland. Irish striker Aidan O'Brien has made that same switch today and will be here watching. 2 other changes from the league defeat against the Black Cats. Sean Williams replaces Louis Thompson in midfield, and George Hurst, a scorer in the last home game against MK Dons, is preferred to Ronan Curtis. Johnny Jackson confirmed that Mason Burstow is poised for a Premier League move tonight, so Connor Washington partners Chuck Anike in attack. Anike scored in the 2-0 win here last season. Adam Matthews replaces Dialang Jayasimi at right wing-back, while Alex Gilby comes in for Elliot Lee in midfield. 3 changes from the side that beat Fleetwood in their last league game 9 days ago. Goalkeeper Craig McGillivray returns to Fratton Park. He was player of the year here last season. Oh, this is Pompey's first home game since we heard the desperately sad news of the death of Jamie Vincent at the age of just 46. He counted Portsmouth among his clubs. He was a full-back here between 2001 and 2004 after being signed from Huddersfield Town. And with the pre-match formalities over, there will be a tribute here to him ahead of kick-off with a minute's applause.
Former Pompey defender Jamie Vincent sadly passed away recently at the age of just 46. He made 49 appearances for the club, also featuring for the likes of Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, Huddersfield and Swindon. Please join us in paying tribute to Jamie Vincent with a minute's applause that will begin and end on the referee's whistle.
So Pompey start the night 8 points off the playoffs. If they can find a way to pose a bigger threat in the final third, there's no doubt they could start to put a little bit of pressure on the sides above them. The referee there, Neil Hare, the man in charge from Cambridgeshire. His last Pompey game was a win at Wickham in November. They'd certainly take any sort of victory here tonight. Charlton, though, made 4 signings in this window. Chuck Zaniki returning, a couple of loan signings too, Juan Castillo and Niall John as well. Players take a knee ahead of kick-off at Fratton Park, and we are good to go here. So it is Pompey who get the ball rolling. This is a ground at which Charlton have enjoyed much success, winning here on each of their last 5 visits. Could they get their first league win on the road this calendar year to close the gap on Pompey still further? Or can the home side get back on track after picking up just a single point from their last 3 games? Danny Cowley's side have shown that the potential is there. That brilliant run in November and December, a snapshot of what's possible. What they're lacking, Don, is that consistency and, of course, that goal-scoring touch.
Yeah, it's been a huge problem for them this season, hasn't it? Finding the back of the net on a regular basis. It's not like they haven't created chances, but they haven't been clinical enough with those chances. It's a huge game, isn't it? Particularly, I think, more so for Portsmouth. Right on the periphery. The results this weekend mean they're now 11 points off a playoff spot.
Danny Cowley did say to us before the game that on expected goals, they're certainly creating the chances. What they haven't been doing is finishing them off, and perhaps that's partly why he's decided to reunite with Tyler Walker.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, allowed Ellis Harrison to leave, allowed John Marquis to leave. You don't do that because they're firing on all cylinders. But Tyler Walker is a player that he trusts, a player that he's got the best out of in the past. And that is what Portsmouth, and all connected with Portsmouth, is hoping can happen again. Saw it yesterday, didn't we, at Pride Park, reunited Lyle Taylor with Lee Bowyer. It's amazing when you're playing for a manager that you know has implicit faith and trust in you, what can happen.
As Joby said pre-match, he was top scorer at Coventry last season with 8-7 in the Championship. Now looking for his first in the blue of Pompey. Bazunu in goal, finding Hayden Carter. Dropped a bit of a clanger in the match against Sunderland, proved costly. They don't concede many. Ball over the top for Hurst. He leaves it, the shot comes in! Not far away. Well, they had 3 men over the top running onto this.
Well, what a start this would have been. His career is well onside, isn't he? He's timed his run to perfection. Can he find the corner? The answer is no. Spoke about the chances that Portsmouth have created, not managed to finish off. Well, there's the first one tonight.
Denver Hume, a new addition from Sunderland 5 days ago. Only recently back from a nasty injury, actually. It's Blackett Taylor. Morgan for Charlton. Now Thamwo. Headed up in the air by Marlon Romeo. Back it goes to Bazunu. Marlon Romeo, 250th club appearance here tonight, on loan from Millwall, of course. Bright, enterprising start here from the home side. Carter. Joe Morrell, the Welshman. Raggett. Taken on by Harness. Loves that roll just off the strikers. Hume with the cross. Coming in on that was Romeo. Difficult ball to hit.
It's a good start, isn't it? Both wing-backs heavily involved in the opening 4 minutes here. Both now had an attempt each, but it's just a little bit slow getting back in, isn't he? Blackett-Taylor there, and he's very fortunate. Marlon Romeo can't take advantage. Positive start by Portsmouth.
Pompey were twice in front when the sides met in September at the Valley. A 2-2 draw, a couple of absolutely cracking goals from Pompey in that game. Ronan Curtis and Marcus Harness twice putting Portsmouth in front. Charlton clawed their way back. Carter. Carter, who's on loan from Blackburn, joined a couple of weeks ago. Ball threaded forward by Raggett, but it's collected by Gilby.
Well, I think if you're Charlton, you've done your homework. You will know that Portsmouth do take risks trying to pass the ball out. It's cost them a couple of goals in recent games. Charlton and Johnny Jackson will be well aware of that.
24 points from 14 league games since replacing Nigel Adkins. Won half his matches. Done a terrific job so far. Got off to the best possible start, didn't he, with an away win at Sunderland towards the end of October.
It was a whirlwind, wasn't it, really? They found themselves, when he took over, in relegation trouble. Very quickly got them going in the right direction. Just stalled a little bit recently, haven't they? Just the one win last weekend. In the last 5 games, a big win, because they're only 5 points above relegation zone at the minute. So those 3 points against Fleetwood were huge, really.
Well, this is a good position for the Addicts, and it goes by Morgan. It's a good deep ball as well, and actually the header back across goal isn't dealt with. Blackett-Taylor. Holding him up is Harness. He's done extremely well there. Morgan. Blackett-Taylor prevented from getting on the ball again by Marcus Harness.
Just showed they bared their teeth for the first time this evening, Charlton. First time they've asked a question of that Portsmouth defence.
Famwo. Very difficult to dig out a cross from that position, making his 50th appearance for Charlton. This is second spell with the Addicts, on loan from Norwich. There is an option to make that permanent.
I think Johnny Jackson will be looking at each and every one of these players and the potential of, can he see them being part of the road to success for Charlton? Because let's not beat about the bush here. If you're a Portsmouth or if you're a Charlton in League One, you are expected to be at the top end of the table. Rebuilding job for Johnny Jackson.
Famwo finding Blackett-Taylor. It's a delightful flick there from Connor Washington. Playing some good stuff here, the Addicts. Gilby getting the ball out wide. Look how many in the box there. Aniki attacked it. Good header away. Blackett-Taylor. Good challenge from Morel.
Well, it was Portsmouth that started the game the better, wasn't it, on the front foot, but certainly the last 2 or 3 minutes Charlton come right back into it. This is a fantastic delivery. Good defending in the end.
Akin Famwo. The chance to cross again, getting lots of balls into the box early on here, Charlton. A chance for Pompey to bring it forward themselves. Morel finding Williams. Out to that left-hand side, and Clark Robertson. Hume on the outside. Robertson puts it in early. Good header away that was from Famwo.
Good tempo to this game, isn't there, in the opening 8-9 minutes or so. Both teams showing aggressive intent.
Harness with a fabulous turn. It's typical of the man, that is. Unfortunately for him, the shot was blocked. Well played back by Carter. Williams. Romeo. Both these sides really playing catch-up from last season. Both 10 points behind where they were at this stage. Charlton want the free kick here for that challenge, which was right on the edge of the penalty area. Referee saw nothing wrong here.
I just think it's the momentum, but once again, trying to pass the ball out, well anticipated. It's just really heavy coming together between Sean Clare. It's innocuous, it's innocent, it's not a foul. It's just momentum.
Made quite an impact, Sean Clare, when these sides met in September. Came off the bench to score within 90 seconds, that match, you can see. 25th of September at the Valley.
Well, that's the second time Charlton have managed to intercept Portsmouth intention of passing the ball out from the central defender into the forwards. Must protect the ball, those Portsmouth forwards.
I think exactly what you said. They've done their homework if they've watched the videos from the last few games.
He nips in, picks the ball up. It's just there. It's foot does get caught. Painful one, but hopefully they'll just run that off.
Well, that gave Johnny Jackson a chance to have a completely new team talk. The whole team was on this near touchline getting some instructions. A man who played 279 times for Charlton, got promoted, of course, from this division, captained them to the League One title 10 seasons ago. Clare with the throw. Gained some ground down that right side. Charlton haven't won any of their last 5 away games in League One since a very impressive victory at Burton mid-November. Blackett-Taylor just running out of turf on this touchline.
I would say one of the big areas that Johnny Jackson will be hoping that Charlton can improve is the away form, isn't it? They come into this, is it 5 games on the road since their last victory? To get all the stars aligned, don't you, if you want to challenge for promotion?
Denver Hume well forward here. First attempt blocked by Matthews, who stayed with him. We'll have to do a lot of that, I think, against Denver Hume.
It's interesting, isn't it? When you play, you've got 2 teams that both play with wing-backs. You kind of get a feeling for how a game is going by which wing-backs are forcing the other ones towards their own goal. Keep an eye on those duels.
I saw Denver Hume make his return from injury, actually, from that nasty hamstring injury that needed surgery. Then he had an ankle injury, and he came on for Sunderland at Arsenal in the League Cup quarter-final. And Lee Johnson apologised afterwards. He said he wasn't ready. He was nutmegged about 4 times by Nicola Pepe. But he's obviously worked extremely hard since then. And he started this game brilliantly.
There's no shame in being nutmegged by Nicola Pepe.
Very true. It was a tough night, that's for sure. Throw to be taken by Matthews. Famwai. Black and Taylor. Pace to burn down this left side, but what a good challenge that was from Romeo. And he brings the ball forward, stopped by Dobson.
First bit is very good, isn't it? But it's making the right decision once you're in possession of the ball. Hung on to it too long there, Marlon Romeo.
You can see the area where the seats are being replaced on that far side, formerly wooden seats. A lot of work going on as the stadium gets much needed facelift. That was brilliant from Ryan Innes. Took a bit of a chance, but he will say he knew exactly what he was doing. Perfect ball up towards Washington. Couldn't get the shot away. Laid off for Gilby. He certainly did, and that'll be a corner to Charlton.
Yeah, it's swift and incisive, isn't it? All starts with Connor Washington's willingness to run. You don't see the movement of him there, but certainly aware enough to strike away. Good power, Gilby, but good defending. It's that movement of Connor Washington that Portsmouth really are going to have to be mindful of.
Charlton's Young Player of the Year last season, Albie Morgan, to take the corner. The referee's whistle goes before Innes can head it back across goal.
He seems to have been around forever, doesn't he? He's been started very, very young.
A couple of days away from his 22nd birthday. Blasted that right over Don's head.
Well, I think Danny Cowley will be thrilled with the work of Denver Hume. This is the reason he's been brought to the club, and certainly Portsmouth are utilising him down that left-hand side. He's looked a threat so far.
Morel. There's another sharp turn from Harness, does it so well.
It's a silly challenge because actually when he let the ball run, it had gone straight to a Charlton player. There was no need to be making the challenge. Sometimes it's the needless free kicks that are given away that can prove costly, isn't it?
He's done really well this season. 10 goals. One more for his best ever scoring season. Sean Williams over the ball here. What can they conjure from this set play? Good header away, and back in it goes by Morel.
Does really well here. Ball away from the danger area. It was awkward for Joe Morel. Was never really going to score from there.
Now attacking this one is Tyler Walker, but he's offside.
It's just gone a fraction early, and he doesn't really need to. Walker quick enough.
They've given it away. Harness tries to steer that through for Hurst. If anyone can, he can.
He's become a really important player around these parts, hasn't he? Marcus Harness. He certainly added the goals to his game now.
Yes, creator-in-chief as well. Still only 25. Someone who's out of contract at the end of the season. Header away by Robertson, the Pompey captain. Throw to be taken by Matthews here for Charlton. Straight out by Morgan. Looking to try and use the pace of Blackett-Taylor down this left side. It's a really important attribute for Charlton. Both these sides suffered real agony with regards to the playoffs last season. Pompey dropped out of the playoff places on the final day after losing here to Accrington. Charlton also missed out on the playoffs on goal difference. Whistle has gone here. Joe Morrell goes over.
You raise your foot like that, always going to be penalised. Gilby is. You're right about the heartbreak that they both suffered at the end of last season.
Here's Hurst. You could see he was desperate to get the shot away. Decent defending there from Dobson.
Paper, you like the look of it, don't you? George Hurst, Tyler Walker, Marcus Harness in behind. You should really have the ability to cause opponents at this level all kinds of problems. That's what Danny Cowley will be hoping.
I think he's really just waiting for that to really fire and spark. All the components are there. Forward it goes by Carter. Walker is a component that's only just been added. He signed on loan a couple of weeks ago.
We're looking for match sharpness as well. Tyler Walker didn't really get an awful lot of game time at Coventry City.
Forward it goes by Dobson. Clare. Ryan Innes just returned recently from a thigh injury, long-term thigh injury, missed 23 matches. Big absentee for Charlton, so commanding at the back.
Aiming for Chukwuemeka there, who's not really been involved in this game. Chukwuemeka so far, service up to him needs to be better.
With the coming together with Gilby, the referee says play on. Williams, give it away. Charlton look to capitalise. Forward it goes by Morgan. That was a giveaway to Romeo. Here is Romeo again. Breaks to Morrell.
Well to regroup there, Charlton. Behind the ball, force Portsmouth back. Look for a moment as if they were in a little bit of bother.
Hume. Well, that's a good run, but no foul. Dobson clears. Took it well with his back to goal there, Chukwuemeka. Out it goes by Carter.
Fascinating, isn't it? Because Both sets of coaches are right below our commentary position here, and you can see them both benches frantically instruct their players.
Hurst with his back to goal. Williams. Walker. Romeo on the outside. Carter's joined in the attack as well. Clipped in by Morel. They're looking over at the referee's assistant here, but the flag stayed down.
It's a little mop of his brow there, doesn't he? Young George Hurst maybe feels this is a big opportunity for him. It's a clever little ball. He's the one that is onside. It's Tyler Walker beyond him that's offside, so assistant referee absolutely spot on to keep the flag down, but he misses his touch. Any kind of connection, you feel that he gives Portsmouth the lead here.
Delightful little ball that, isn't it, by Morel? He's got that in his locker. Morel wins the free kick. That's a real touch of class to this Pompey midfield. Romeo looking for Harness. Oh, brilliant from Marcus Harness. Top quality. Walker with the layoff. Morel. And Robertson bombing forward, trying to make something happen. Instead, it's Aniki for Charlton. Seeking out Washington. There's no flag there. Certainly starting to hear the Pompey chimes here. Hurst against Clare. Again, play on, says the referee. He's certainly letting this game flow. Blackett-Taylor. There's the pace we've been talking about. Devastating for Blackett-Taylor! Well, that would have been some individual goal. The pace was quite frightening there.
Wow, what an effort this is, where he picks the ball up. He's under pressure from Marlon Romeo. He just keeps going. Takes out another 2, 3 Pompey players, and how close is that? 100% would have been a big contender for goal of the season. That is close. Desperately unlucky.
Well, his first and only goal for the club was back in August, actually, on his full debut in the EFL Trophy after his move from Tranmere Rovers. He'll certainly feel he's due one.
Outstanding, it really was, and what it will do, it will just put a little bit of doubt in Marlon Romeo's mind.
Here is Romeo getting to the byline. Oh, it was just in front of Hurst.
To say Sean Clare does ever so well here. Just makes a challenge from George Hurst. The brilliant switch to Romeo, great touch, and he puts the ball into the perfect area, but Sean Clare smells the danger, gets himself back into that area. It's excellent defending.
Offside. Not a lot in it, but the right decision from where we are.
Play just doesn't get himself back on side, so it's the correct decision. It's just bubbling nicely though, isn't it? Get the feeling. Goal is not that far away here. I hope that's not the commentator's curse.
Well, they do like a 0-0, Pompey, don't they? 3 of their last 6 finished goalless. As you can see, the home side enjoying the lion's share of possession and chances. Blackett-Taylor solo attempt. Charlton's first shot of the game. Here goes Morgan for Charlton. Good header away by Carter. Forward again by Dobson. Could this be a chance maybe for Morgan? Well headed away in there by Raggett. Taylor. Oh, look at the space here for Dobson. Right across the face, drilled by Clare.
Wow, that was travelling from Sean Clare, wasn't it? It's the perfect connection. Once again, whilst the stats may say Portsmouth have had the better of it, Charlton still carry that threat.
Here, there's not a huge apron on this pitch. Ryan Innes, you would think the main target. Instead, he's gone short to Clare, just to confuse us all. Right in, and hammered in right on the goal line. The throw-in did the trick, and Connor Washington from there couldn't miss. Well, could there be an offside?
The goal stands to say, and you have to feel sorry for Gavin Bazunu because he makes a remarkable save, the young goalkeeper. But he then, once he makes the save, he needs help from his defenders. But Chukwuemeka is in an offside position. Does he interfere? The answer is yes. The flag really should have gone up. Charlton don't care, but certainly Portsmouth and Danny Cowley are going to be asking questions because it wasn't even close. He was a good yard offside, wasn't he? Didn't really look a difficult decision.
Well, that is tough luck on the home side. Chukwuemeka forcing the best from Bazunu, but nothing he could do about the follow-up from Connor Washington, who lashed in his 8th goal of the season. Here come Charlton again with Gilby.
They've got to keep their cool here. Portsmouth, they will feel a little bit aggrieved. What they can't afford to do is concede the next goal in this game. They haven't got a great record when they concede first, Portsmouth. 10 times prior to tonight, and they'd lost 8 of them. And that's largely down to the fact that they struggle for goals. It's usually the prolific teams that can turn around and get wins from the jaws of defeat.
Well, corner's been given here. That's the Northern Ireland international, Connor Washington, who has given the Addicks the lead here. First corner. It's a goal that all came from what we thought was going to be a long throw, and I think perhaps Pompey thought it was going to be a long throw as well.
It's good to mix it up, isn't it? Take advantage. This ball comes in, and Ike is well offside, isn't he? The assistant really should be spotting that. As I say, Bazunu makes a wonderful save, but credit Connor Washington, he's alive, he's alert, he's the first to react.
They could be in again here. Oh, off the frame of the goal. Well hit by Gilby. He can't believe he hasn't made it 2.
I just wonder how big a moment in the game this could be. There's that long throw. It's simple. It's a flick on. Danny Cowley will not be happy with the defending for that. Basics.
Would have been an assist for Washington to go with his goal. Lovely deft header into the path of Alex Gilbey. Still can't believe it, Don.
The angle's against him here, really, so you've got to go for power, and he does. He's ever so close.
Had a really tough start to the season. Alex Gilbey missed the first 9 matches because of a really nasty bout of COVID-19. Tweeted and said it was the worst he's ever felt. It took him a long time to come back from that. Come back he has, looking to score for the 3rd time against Pompey. Very nearly did. What is Pompey's response? It's a really good spell for Charlton. Got their noses in front. Danny Cowley hasn't seen the pictures that we've seen. He'd be bitterly disappointed. He and his younger brother Nicky, his assistant.
I'd be surprised if they're not aware of it. All clubs have got.
Bitterly disappointed. He and his younger brother Nicky, his assistant.
I'd be surprised if they're not aware of it by now. All the analysts and everything that all clubs have got, all levels now. Coaches and managers very quickly find out about refereeing decisions, particularly the ones that don't go in their favour.
That's a lovely little flick again, and Charlton enjoying themselves here. That's another effort from Morgan.
Yeah, they look on the front foot now, don't they? Every time they're breaking at pace. Lovely little link-up play, lovely touch from Anike. Gilbey's running. Just gets caught, but it falls invitingly for the strike. That's a beautiful little touch. All of a sudden, playing with confidence.
Yeah, that was a very deft flick from Anike, a scorer when Charlton came here and won 2-0 last season, October 2020. Remember, they're looking to win on this ground for the 6th time in a row. Gone about it the right way. Offside flag up again here.
Yeah, he doesn't step out quick enough. Tyler Walker, good decision.
Plenty more action to come here on Sky Sports. 2 big derbies in Scotland. Edinburgh first, Hibs Hearts tomorrow from 7 on Sky Sports Football. And then off to Glasgow for the Old Firm, Wednesday at 7, Sky Sports Football. And then more EFL action from the Championship. Birmingham City taking on Sheffield United, Friday from 7, Sky Sports Football. Hurst. Walker laid off to Romeo. Trying to fashion something here. Fans getting frustrated. Charlton in a very good shape, not letting them get into their rhythm in the final third.
It's excellent work defensively, isn't it? Charlton plugged all the holes, forced Portsmouth across and back the way.
Sean Raggett plays the ball back to Carter. Here's the captain, Robertson. Well, they've been rather sloppy with their passing since conceding the goal, Pompey. Headed forward by Morgan, up towards Anike. As he kept that in play, Gilby, and again they're looking for a flag, again it stays down. It's just a corner to Charlton.
Oh, outstanding hold-up play here from Chukwuemeka. He uses his strength and he's aware of the run. And once again, really, the flag really should be going up. Unfortunately, Portsmouth haven't paid the price yet. They've got a corner to defend, but really, assistant referee not having a good evening so far.
Apologies for any inappropriate language you heard a moment ago as the corner comes in. It's picked up on the edge of the penalty area again by a hard-working Blackett-Taylor. Seeing a lot of the ball. Playing some lovely stuff here, Charlton. There's a new signing there, Aidan O'Brien, signing from Sunderland on a deal until the end of the season. 28 years of age, good addition, I'd say.
Another lively player, bundles of energy. Goal in him as well, which of course is what they need right now.
One goal from their last 4 league games. Pompey. Blackett-Taylor. Another corner.
They look the most likely, don't they, at the minute? Charlton Athletic, and they're not resting on their laurels, and it's credit to Johnny Jackson and Charlton for that. Going for the jugular here.
Third corner for Charlton Athletic here. The referee just checking it is in the quadrant. Harness hoping to nick it. Very nearly did.
They just can't get any meaningful possession at the minute, Portsmouth, and they are a team that do usually have more of the ball than the opposition.
Washington trying to make something happen on that far side. Just a throw to Pompey.
You see how this has flipped on its head. It's not that long ago that we saw Portsmouth had the 6 attempts. Charlton had only had 1 at the time. That was Blackett-Taylor's, but they've turned that on its head, and they are working Bazunu in the goal. Portsmouth yet to hit the target and work Craig McGillivray.
They've really lost their way here, Pompey.
I think half-time can't come quickly enough, really, for Portsmouth. Bit of a reset.
Morgan decides not to go out to Blackett-Taylor. Can do now. Alfie Morgan again. Charlton really sensing the opportunity to give themselves a 2-goal cushion here. Given away to Dobson. Morgan. Making really hard work of getting the ball away, Pompey. But then he's lost it, Gilby. Again, the passing not quite where Pompey fans think it should be. Sloppy, casual.
Not keeping hold of the ball. Every time they get it, they're giving it away cheaply, Portsmouth, and you can see in the last 10 minutes Charlton really took control, really. And they're having meaningful possession, and they're having a lot of possession in this half of the pitch.
Clare did well and found Morgan. Oh, what an effort that was from Albie Morgan. Pompey asking the question, was there a foul by Clare in the build-up?
Well, he's strong. There's no question about that, whether there's a foul or not. No, I don't think so. It's two players. He knows exactly what he wants to do here. Albie Morgan cuts right across the ball. Gets the spin on the ball and the dip on the ball. It's not a million miles away. It's a decent effort.
Scored his first goal this season just 9 days ago in that match against Fleetwood. A very good cross by Gilby. Johnny Jackson must be delighted with the way this has panned out this first half. The only thing he might be disappointed about is that it's only 1-0 and the chances they've had to add to the Washington goal.
That is literally the only negative, isn't it, for Charlton? They have had opportunities to get that second goal. And again, just remind yourself, the biggest problem Portsmouth have had all season is scoring goals. So if Charlton were to get another one, it really would be a mountain for Portsmouth to have to climb.
A season of ups and downs for Pompey so far. Began so brilliantly, didn't it? Those 3 wins without conceding. Real low point for Danny Cowley was the 4-0 home defeat by Ipswich in mid-October. But that prompted that fantastic unbeaten run, 10 games. They really did lift themselves towards playoff contention. Just slipped again a little bit in recent weeks.
Well, the gap has grown, hasn't it? And that's concerning, really. It stands at 11 at the moment. It's not just the gap, it's the form of many of the teams above them. It'll make it a very, very difficult task. That's why tonight is a huge game.
Hayden Carter to take the throw. Last moments of this first half at Fratton Park. Always a special place to be under the lights, but that rather sums up Pompey's efforts in this first half. All straight out of play from the throw-in. Started with great purpose here, Pompey. Quickly went awry. Followed by Harness. Flag up against Hurst.
When you look at it, they haven't really been able to get Marcus Harness, Tyler Walker, and George Hurst heavily involved in the game. Starved of a little bit of service.
Blackett Taylor hoping to get on the end of that ball. Robertson, big diagonal looking for Romeo, breaks for Harness, and there's the half-time whistle before Pompey can get the cross in, and they aren't too happy with the officials, I don't think. Charlton have the advantage courtesy of Connor Washington's goal from virtually on the goal line. Chuck Saniki clearly offside when he headed the ball goalwards, saved by the keeper. Not spotted by the officials. Massive frustration for Danny Cowley and co. And Charlton, since then, have looked by far the more likely to add to their tally. A lot of work for Pompey to do here. At the break, Portsmouth 0, Charlton 1.
Welcome back. Charlton leading 1-0 against Portsmouth. Joby McAnuff on the sofa. Joby, let's take a look back at the goal. Touch of controversy about it, but initially it was a great save from Chuck Saniki, wasn't it?
Yeah, listen, at the end of the day, you want decisions to go with you. It's a good delivery in. Chucksanike wins the first ever header. Gavin Basuna will be really disappointed in terms of his defenders not helping him out. As it goes wide there, you can see the linesman's position. For me, he's got a clear sight and he should be given this offside because Chucksanike is in an offside position here. Comes in. Having said that, fantastic save, but Connor Washington on hand to tap the ball home. But certainly Portsmouth be really disappointed that the linesman's missed it.
But the linesman's here and he's watching the last defender. But does that mean he can't have his eyes in two places?
Well, he's looking down the line in terms of where the ball gets delivered and what that last defender's position is. And for me, Chucksanike clearly is the wrong side, so it should be a pretty straightforward decision. Yeah,
Connor Washington's 8th goal of the season, but they had their chances before that as well, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been some good opportunities. I mean, this run here is absolutely amazing. He just leaves 2 or 3 Portsmouth players for dead here, Blackett, Taylor, and actually a really good strike at the end of it. Really unlucky to see that whistle pass. It would have been certainly one of the best goals you've seen at Fratton Park for a long time, but not to be.
And then this one is from Alex Gilby. Does it just come off the inside of his ankle at the vital moment?
Yeah, he does really well. Again, disappointed from Portsmouth's point of view that it's a long throw, gets in that side, and he just, as you say, doesn't quite get the connection that he wants to put it inside the post.
We haven't actually seen much of a response from Portsmouth since the goal, but before that they did have chances. Denver Hume almost had a dream debut here. Should he have done better, or was there not much more he could do?
No, I think you certainly try and hit the target from that position. It was really early on in the game, so I suppose that will be something he probably feels didn't help. And then Marlon Romeo coming in off the wing. It's been a good battle on that side of the pitch. And this one here, George Hurst, just it actually times his run to perfection and he just can't get the control that he needs or the contact to try and get a shot on target.
And what's Danny Cowley saying to his players at half-time? Because like we just said there, since the goal, I actually haven't seen much in the last 15 minutes of that first half from Portsmouth. No, he needs a response. Certainly they're probably fortunate enough not to be more than 1 goal down. I think that'd be the only consolation. As you say, there was no real reaction. Charlton, for me, were far the better team in that last 15 minutes after they scored. So he needs a result, you know, especially at home. The fans are restless anyway, and they need to see some sort of reaction in that second half. Absolutely. We'll have to see if we get one, but it is Charlton that have the lead. Thanks to Connor Washington from close range for his 8th goal of the season. The linesman didn't think it was offside in the build-up. Danny Cowley thought it was. We've got the second half on the way next. Curtis warming up for Portsmouth, their top scorer this century. Can he change the game? Portsmouth trail to Charlton 1-0, second half on the way. Joby, Portsmouth trailing 1-0 at half-time. If you look where they are on the table, 11 points off the playoff spots. Yes, they have a couple of games in hand, but how big is this 45 minutes for their whole season, for their playoff hopes?
Oh, it's absolutely massive. There's no point having the games in hand and not winning them because you're going to find yourself, of course, further behind. They've already got a tough task to catch some of those teams ahead of them. And I don't think it's just for the playoffs. That's a little bit down the line. I think immediately for Portsmouth Football Club, for Danny Cowley and that staff, they need a result tonight.
Yeah, the fans do expect a lot of Portsmouth. It's a really big club. It's been a positive half for Charlton and Johnny Jackson. What sort of changes should Portsmouth be looking to make to get back in this game, do you think?
Well, we saw Ronan Curtis warming up. He's certainly one that I would be trying to get on the pitch because, as we said before kick-off, they have lacked creativity at times this season. That's shown again tonight. So certainly from their point of view, getting someone on that can come on and try and create something will certainly help them trying to get back in the game.
OK, well, let's get back to our commentary team. Both sides are unchanged at half-time, so let's get back to Don Goodman and Gary Taphouse.
Many thanks, Michelle. Yes, we're good to go here in the second half. We heard Don mention that Pompey have only come from behind to win a league game once this season. That was here at Fratton Park against Wimbledon in November. They came back to win 2-1. That's the sort of thing they're trying to do here. They're up against the Charlton side who were given a massive shot in the arm by that goal, and they looked by far the more likely to go on and get the second.
I think this is an absolutely huge 45 minutes for Portsmouth if they want any hope really of crashing the playoffs.
Blackett Taylor with another surging run forward into the side netting. Well, his pace has caused no end of problems for Pompey tonight.
Talk about ball carrying. It's just outstanding, isn't it? It's how you get your team from one end of the pitch up to the other and on the attack. Fantastic running, and maybe should have had a corner, in the slightest nick off the defender.
Yeah, came off Hayden Carter, didn't it? That's what he was appealing for. Well, that was a big half-time team talk for Danny Cowley, who celebrates a year in charge in 6 weeks' time. There are his next 6 fixtures, Don.
Well, that's why this is huge. You know, Oxford next, going well, Burton going well. We need to be going into those games with confidence, and tonight, and the 4 after that, all teams struggling at the bottom, and that's who Portsmouth have traditionally this season done extra well against. In fact, they haven't lost against a team in the bottom half all season, and they're in danger of that record changing here tonight.
Anike. Put it through to Gilby. It's not what he had in mind.
No, he's just gone for too much whip. He might have heard a few words from Anike as well. These are the kind of things, when you're winning a game of football, you can afford to see the funny side of.
Could have done some damage to the big screen there. He wants to give these 11 a chance to make amends before introducing Roland Curtis. Taylor well marshalled this time by Carter. There he is, ready to go. Roland Curtis scored an absolute beauty when these sides met at the Valley in September.
Something down there. I don't think it'll be too long before Danny Cowley decides to make changes. Something has to change in the way this game is just panning out.
There he is, ready to go. Roland Curtis scored an absolute beauty when these sides met at the Valley in September.
Something down there. I don't think it'll be too long before Danny Cowley decides to make changes. Something has to change in the way this game is just panning out.
Morale to Williams. Raggett. Hoping to find Hume.
Well, Pompey fan, have a look at that. Second half is when they do most of their.
Hoping to find Hume.
Well, Pompey fan, have a look at that. Second half is when they do most of their scoring. So there is hope, and the fact that they're only 1 down when it possibly could have been more is a bonus. But they need more if they're going to get back into this game.
Equally, you add those two together, 29 goals, barely just over a goal a game. Foul by Innes.
This is what Tyler Walker can do, but he hasn't had too many opportunities. Good skill, draws the challenge.
Over the ball here. Craig McGillivray there, yet to make a save in this game. Could he be forced into action here?
Just had a quick peek at that near post, you know, to see whether it was on.
This has played it straight behind. It's been that sort of night, hasn't it, for Portsmouth?
Well, to me, I think that's into a decent area. It's whipping in, but the runs are all out of sync. Nobody going behind the back. That is an area of the pitch that, from a set piece, you have to have covered.
Robertson to take the throw. Recently returned after a long time out with a hip injury, 4 months. First went down, wanting a free kick. Again, the referee just says play on.
To say the ball into him, it's not great, really. Too much pace, doesn't give him much chance of taking it under his spell.
Raggett got himself out of a bit of a pickle there. Robertson. They don't make it easy for themselves sometimes, Pompey. Well aware of what they want to do, looking to hassle them at every opportunity.
We said it in the first half, didn't we? Charlton will be well aware that Portsmouth take risks in possession of the ball in their own final third.
Nicely done from Raggett. Well, the first bit was, second bit not so much. Nikkei gets it out wide, Blackett-Taylor. Is he going to have a go? Deflection. Carries it away behind for a corner. And he got hold of that, smashed on Hayden Carter.
It's travelling, really was. Again, there's other options for him. And support, playing with confidence. Decides to take it on himself. Plenty of power. That's travelling. It's a good interception.
Around 1,000 Charlton fans behind that goal. Love to see the second fly in front of them. Innes, who's going to attack it? Drilled by Morgan, who took the initial corner. Smashed it against Marlon Romeo.
Again, straight off the training ground, but they did one of these in the first half, and Portsmouth really need to be more switched on to it. It's around the back. Free header.
Adam Matthews to take the throw in here. Again, Innes, the obvious target. Free kick goes Pompey's way this time. Curtis out for another jog. Desperate to get on the pitch, I think. Attacked by Hurst. Good flick as well. Cleared though again by Innes. He hasn't given many fouls tonight, the referee, but he certainly felt he had to give that one.
He's been good. I think he's been consistent in allowing the game to flow.
Another free kick. saying he handled it, but that was after the challenge. Just 5 league goals from set pieces all campaign. Pompey.
Surprising, isn't it, when you look at how successful the Cowley brothers were at Lincoln with set pieces? They were one of the best in the country.
This isn't an easy angle either for Denver Hume. Well, he's played that in short. This is beautifully worked. All that was lacking was the finishing touch. Well, you're talking about the Cowley brothers working on set pieces. There's a fabulous example.
Yeah, and that's why I'm surprised that their numbers aren't better, because they are imaginative and inventive. Feels round the back. Brilliant little flick. Sean Raggett, isn't it, that the ball falls to. Doesn't really sort his feet out quickly enough.
Raggett, who of course has worked with the Cowley brothers before. They didn't bring him here. It was a lucky coincidence that he was already here when they arrived, working with them again. Together at Lincoln. Helped himself to 5 goals last season. Now down goes Carter. The corner, I think, was given there.
Can they build up a head of steam here? A couple of set pieces, opportunities. Just allows them to put a bit of pressure on.
The familiar train on the penalty spot. Just 1 league goal from a corner all season, Portsmouth. Be a very good time to double that tally for the campaign. Sean Williams to take. Well attacked by Robertson, but he was beaten to it. Carter dispossessed. Throw to Pompey.
I've been very impressed with Charlton's defending tonight, and that's been the fundamental, massive difference under Johnny Jackson. He really has sorted that defence out. Much harder to score against now.
Clean sheets in half of his games. Anike. Nicely done. Washington was there in support. Look at Taylor. Is he going to have another crack? Definitely in the mood for goals, isn't he?
Seems to be spending most of this match.
Have another crack. Definitely in the mood for goals, isn't he?
Seems to be spending most of this match in Portsmouth's half of the field, doesn't he, really? That's a sign of which way this game is ebbing and flowing, really. This time he's just in support. But you're right, he is racking up the attempts. Maybe that wasn't the best decision. Hard and low across the goalkeeper would have been the order of the day.
Still on the hunt for first league goal of the season. Given away again to Clare. Anike, Gilby, Clare again. Just haven't looked after the football well enough, Pompey, this evening. Still a long way to go. Morgan. Dobson. Famwo advancing. Washington lost possession. Clear by Morel. Ball goes over the top. This could be a chance. Hurst goes over. Corner is given.
Well, I have to say, he's took the gamble, hasn't he, Ryan Innes, and if he gets it wrong, Gives away a penalty. Felt that he needed to make the challenge. Just for a second, you think Hurst is away here. He's quick, but Innes, outstanding. Outstanding challenge, really is excellent.
Brilliant defending, but it is a corner to Pompey. And they won the first header through Robertson. Hume. Long from Bazunu. It's played through for Hurst. Romeo goes back to Morel.
It's a poor decision, really, and I guess that's what's happening. That's what happens when you're a team that struggling for goals. You make decisions that aren't the right ones, really. He's got support to his left from one of the centre halves. Needs to be rolling it across, but takes it on. Maybe he shouldn't have.
Well, we've passed an hour, and that tells everything, doesn't it? The most shots for Pompey, Don, from a centre-half.
The strikers haven't been involved, have they? Hurst, Walker, Harness struggling, and that's because they're not looking after the ball as well as they normally do, Portsmouth here.
Still no efforts on target either for the home side, which they'll be bitterly disappointed about at this stage.
After a quiet opening 10 minutes, he's been an absolute handful, hasn't he, Chukwuemeka? No wonder Johnny Jackson keen to bring him back to the football club.
Yeah, rejoined just 2 weeks ago from Birmingham, top scorer for Charlton last season with 16 goals. Albie Morgan with the free kick. That won't cause a problem. Hand of apology for Morgan. Well, that long-awaited change is going to happen imminently with Ronan Curtis, the Ireland forward, coming on. Just 3 league goals this season. Has actually started all but 3 in the league this season. He'll be absolutely desperate to get out there. Hurst. Forward by Williams. Harness. Very quickly onto him. Clare. Blackett-Taylor. Oh, he's ghosted past Carter. And behind it goes by Romeo.
Getting themselves into really good positions here. Charlton not particularly taking advantage. Greatest ball.
Given away again by the home side, Gilby. Morgan. Matthews. He's got it through to Sean Clare. Oh, brilliant! 2-0 to Charlton. Oh, Robertson might have got the final touch. The build-up play was absolutely superb from Charlton. They won't care how it went in. Despair for Pompey.
Well, just when you think it can't get any worse, it does. First goal offside, second goal an own goal, but look, they give the ball away again, Portsmouth. But then have a look at Sean Clare. It's a centre-half, wanting to get involved, wanting to get forward, makes the offer to Matthews. It's brilliant. He runs beyond Hurst, and that's the desire that you want. And the ball into that near post area is outstanding. It's on the money. Poor Clark Robertson knows that he needs to try and intervene, but he also knows if he doesn't get it perfect, there's a danger that that happens. No chance for the goalkeeper. And it had been coming.
And if he hadn't done that, then Connor Washington would have helped himself to a second. Now, is there something here for Pompey? All the way through, and at last, the Charlton goalkeeper has something to do, and there's ironic cheers from the home supporters about that. Taken a long time for McGillivray to actually handle the ball.
Perfect example of the damage that an overlapping centre-half can do, wasn't it? Chris Wilder's got a lot to be thanked for,
Yes,
hasn't he?
exactly what I thought. Morgan. Corner kick. They're enjoying their nights on the south coast here at the Alex, and their supporters will be closing the gap still further. Just 2 points between the teams if it stays like this. Here comes the corner. Oh, goalkeeper Kazuna with a bit of a fumble. Gilby. Looking a bit rattled here. Innes might be about to be substituted. But is, for the time being, still determined to cause a problem as the long throw from Matthews to cause a problem as the long throw is about to come in from Matthews. Didn't quite reach him. Chance to cross it though. Clare is ahead of him once more. It goes instead to Dobson. Wide by Famwo. It's good stuff again from Charlton. Alfie Morgan. Referee says carry on, even though he went to ground. Looked like a foul.
I think he played an advantage because Charlton had the ball, comfortable possession.
Now, a couple of Pompey players collided there, and Sean Williams is in a spot of bother here. Midway through the second half.
You know that's a problem because he's not the type of player that to stay down unless he's hurt. I hope that's not as serious as it looks.
I think this was a knee in the back here, Don.
Robertson, oh crikey, yeah, you can see why that hurts. It's a sore one.
If you don't know that's coming, that's a very painful one. Well, it's given Danny and Nicky Cowley a chance just to try and G up the home players here because they're in dire straits. 2-0 down.
Well, I was at Pride Park yesterday in Derby County for the first hour. A little bit like Portsmouth were poor, somehow salvaged it. It's all about the next goal when it's 2-0, isn't it? If Portsmouth can get it, it might be game on, but I have to say, desperately unlucky, really. Portsmouth, that the flag doesn't go up when it really should. It wasn't a difficult decision, but the second one, it's about desire and endeavour from one central defender of Charlton. Forces another one of Portsmouth to turn the ball in his own net. Got an iron grip of this game, Charlton.
Well, we said that Ryan Innes was going off. He's already off, and he's been replaced by the club captain, Jason Pearce, who was in the Pompey team 10 seasons ago. Played 44 times in the blue of Portsmouth. These days, longest-serving player at Charlton. Joined in 2016. Ronan Curtis and Louis Thompson coming on here. So Sean Williams and Tyler Walker being withdrawn here. So Walker's wait for a first Pompey goal. Go on a little longer. Yep, you tied up.
It's been a tough night for him, really. He's been trying to live off scraps, to be fair.
And number 6, Sean Williams.
Louis Thompson,
By number 23, Louis Thompson.
whose older brother Nathan was a Pompey player. Played 78 times here. Well, around about 20 minutes to play, and Pompey get a goal, then could set up a terrific finish here, like the one you saw yesterday, Don. But as we know, they aren't prolific. We're also going to see Michael Jacobs, and that'll be Hayden Carter going off. Could well be a slight tactical switch. Jacobs, a scorer at the Valley last season. Pompey went there and won 3-1. Midfielder on, centre-half off. And again, the crowd happy about that.
Had to do something and change of shape. More creative player on the pitch. One thing they are going to have to do is pass the ball much better than they've been able to do so far this evening.
Well, having given it away, battling to win it back. It's been a battle. They're toiling here, Pompey. Action from the Women's Super League at the weekend, Saturday at midday. Arsenal versus Manchester United on the Sky Sports Premier League channel. Oh, well attacked in the middle by Hurst. And the defender just got there first to put it behind for a corner.
Once again, praise the Charlton defending. You can see the impact Johnny Jackson has had on it. It's outstanding from Sean Clare. Provider at one end, saviour at another. Excellent.
Corner doesn't reach Curtis on the near post. Not the delivery they had in mind. Morel. Harness. It's one for Curtis to chase, but it should be cleared by Pearce. Romeo with the throw here for Pompey. Desperate to get a foothold in this game. Curtis with the ball in, but again, Charlton get it away. No problem at all. Hume goes for the return as well. Dobson put it away. This is Corey Blackett-Taylor. I think in this situation the home fans would really like it to be sustained pressure from the home side, but it's not happening. Sanike goes for the return from Washington.
Yeah, they haven't really been able to put Charlton under any real sustained pressure at any time in the game. The best spell of the game Portsmouth had was probably the opening 4 or 5 minutes, I would say. The goal really seemed to have a negative impact on Portsmouth. They haven't really recovered from that.
Nice turn by Anike. Against Robertson for a corner. He's enjoying himself, isn't he, Anike? The away fans just yards away. From Morgan. Again, they win the first header.
It's 3 times now in this match alone. Training ground routine has worked.
Here come Pompey. That dreaded ball didn't come off from Morel. He was caught after playing it. Referee happy for play to go on. Nice little nutmeg from Morgan, who is brought down. Challenge by Louis Thompson. The referee's got the yellow card out for an earlier one. Shown that to Famwo.
I don't really understand that, because if he's booking Famwo for that, he didn't even, there was no advantage. There was literally no advantage. As he plays this ball through, it goes straight to a Charlton player, so the referee has to give a free kick. Strange.
Poor challenge that, wasn't it, on Morel? And as you say, the Morel's through ball ended up being given away. Wide it goes by Morgan. Blackett-Taylor. Famwo. They don't need to force the issue, Charlton. Just a question of being professional, sensible from here on in.
The old phrase, isn't it? Game management. That's what it's all about for them.
On the other hand, the home side looking to make something happen. It was a good run by Louis Thompson.
He was fouled as well. That's what he's complaining to the referee about, George Dobson.
Seriously underwhelming night so far for Pompey. It's their time for them to turn things around. Romeo, Harness. This is better. Curtis. This could be a chance! Oh, has it gone over the line? Yes, it has! They've got to go back. Just what they needed. He was beaten. McGillivray, he'll be disappointed that he was. But with 11 minutes to go, they've got to go back, courtesy of Michael Jacobs.
Oh, this has come really out of absolutely nowhere. There hasn't been any sign of it. It's been so comfortable, really, for Charlton. But that ball there picks out Jacobs. Great first touch to take the ball into his path. Yeah, it's 2 touches, gets it out of his feet, beats McGillivray at the near post. Goalkeeper will be disappointed. It's too hot to handle, but impact from the substitutes. Game on.
His 4th goal of the season at the other end. Anike hoping to slip it past Robertson. Well, they were hoping for a grandstand finish. There might well be one now with 10 to play.
It would be the great escape, wouldn't it, really? Charlton have been so far superior. Superiority, though, in games of football, it counts for nothing unless you get the job done.
Morgan's corner. Good clearing header from Raggett. Morgan again, slips it to Sean Clare. Couldn't quite smuggle it through. Determined to play their way out of danger. They've done it. Or have they? A terrible giveaway to Connor Washington. Desperate to get the shot away. Like Taylor. We'll get to that as well. Anike's in there. And blasted goalwards. Big deflection, took it away from goal for a corner. Again, Pompey, their own worst enemies at times.
Given the ball away several times, which resulted in this again. Like Taylor, lovely skill, ball into a dangerous area. Needs defending, doesn't it? No chance of Charlton resting on their laurels. At the other end, looking for that 3rd goal. Credit to them for that.
Morgan again. Far post again. Smashed goalwards by Chuks Anike, but the whistle had already gone. He's saying, what did I do wrong? Goal won't count.
It wasn't coming together. Whether it was a foul or not, not so sure.
So 8 minutes to go. Jacobs with the throw. It's his goal that's really reignited this game. Oh, brilliant from Jacobs. Fabulous close control and a lovely drop of the shoulder as well. Romeo hoping to burst into the box, didn't release it. Renewed hope here for Pompey. Wide by Morel. Romeo to the Welshman again. Romeo finds Jacobs. Just overran it. And a chance for Washington to bring it forward. 2 waiting for a cross. Just keeps his feet. Anike. Washington again. Just behind Anike. No one there to slam it goalwards. And it's gone a bit NBA, hasn't it? Morel with the ball forward. This could be a chance for Curtis.
Well, it is. Thumbs up to his teammate for the pass, but once again, doesn't hit the target. The movement is good. The game really did open up. It's a clever run. It's a good ball. Decides to take it early. And at the other end, Washington and Anike linking up really well again, not for the first time. It's all very last-ditch for Portsmouth, but they did turn defence into attack in a flash there.
Well, it was 2-2 earlier this season at the Valley, when the away side thought they should have won. petulant from Anike.
What on earth is he thinking?
Yellow card.
He's just barged the referee. What on earth is he thinking? He's angry that he's been penalised. He's penalised for that, a hand in the face. I think it's accidental, but it's the barge into the referee that was more concerning to me. Don't know what that is all about. He's a lucky boy.
Now nursing his right hamstring. I think Johnny Jackson has decided it would be a good time to consider bringing him off. And again, apologies for the bad language you may have heard there, as Anike gets a fair bit of stick. Johnny Jackson shown the yellow card from the referee. A bemused look as well on the face of the Charlton manager. Off goes Anike to be replaced by Jonathan Liko. It was a bit of a crazy couple of minutes from Anike.
He may have tweaked his hamstring. That might have been the frustration, but can't be barging into a referee like that.
Number 23,
Corey Blackett-Taylor will be replaced by Ben Purrington. Final change of the match. And there is Liko, who has been a regular in the side since returning from a hip injury. Young man on a season-long loan from Birmingham City. Oh, could it be loose for a split second? You wondered if it might fall for the men in blue. Curtis just couldn't quite take that in his stride, but suddenly, signs of life from the home side.
Substitutes, isn't it? They have really impacted the game. That's what substitutes are for.
Jacobs has made a big impact, not just with the goal. Shown a willingness to run with the ball. Here he is, taken off him by Curtis. Challenged right on the edge of the box by Clare, got the ball. Hume, first header, a goalkeeper comes out and is clattered.
It's an accidental coming together, but you never, a referee will always give a foul on a goalkeeper.
He's had a really good game, hasn't he, Sean Clare?
Yeah, he's been outstanding. He really has. Most of the outstanding players on the pitch, it has to be said, have been in the black shirts of Charlton, but that is a brilliant challenge. It really is.
Tonight's Monthly Man of the Match, chosen by our main
Signed from Oxford in the summer, Sean Clare.
Number 21, Joe Morel.
Well, McGillivray hasn't been massively involved, but he knew he was going to get clattered here.
Yeah, he's brave, isn't he? It is, saying, natural coming together with Robertson. It is a foul.
Barely even reacted, to be fair to him. Looked like watching action from Twickenham. "90 seconds plus stoppage time to go." Nicely taken by Harness. Poor challenge from Dobson. Shown the yellow card. And there's just a slight element of panic creeping into Charlton now.
Yeah, all of a sudden the calmness has gone, hasn't it, from Charlton? It's all kicking off.
Another yellow card. I think that was to Liko. And that was another one. And that was to Joe Morel. So Lico and Morel, both yellow carded in that quick spell, along with Dobson for the challenge. Now, we've talked about how Pompey have struggled to score goals from set pieces. Could they produce something here? And by the way, we are looking at 6 minutes of stoppage time. There'll be a huge roar when the fans see the board. McGillivray has the ball within his grasp. How relieved must he feel? That was a dangerous ball in from Jacobs.
Fantastic delivery. Teased into an area. Portsmouth players not far from getting on the end of that.
There's the roar we promised you. Plenty of time for further drama. Collective groan from the away end when that number 6 was raised. They were cruising not so long ago. Oh, it's run all the way through. Could be a chance for Hurst. Blocked. Comes back to George Hurst. It's still not away. Oh, and it was well drilled by Thompson. Saved by McGillivray.
Again, I'm not sure George Hurst makes the right choice here. He's got the blinkers on, really, for glory. Good defending from Pearce, but they recycle the ball. Portsmouth. It's a decent strike, but you would always expect McGillivray to make the save.
Extraordinary nutmeg on Sean Clare in that build-up, which allowed the ball to run through to Hurst. Here they come again with Morel. Robertson. Past Washington, finds Hume. Looking for Jacobs, it's Clare, safety first. Buzz around Bratton Park now. The home side go in search of a late equaliser here. Hume. Equaliser here. Hume. Curtis. Hume. Great ball in! Well, he couldn't do much more there, and Raggett attacking it on the far post. Didn't get the contact he was hoping for.
It's a normal feature of Portsmouth, isn't it, that they get crosses, quality crosses into an area. First half, I think they only got 5 in, much better in the last 10 minutes, actually.
Jacobs. Romeo with the layoff for Morel. That's a bit of a hoik from Van Woo. Just a throw by the corner flag.
Defenders who have looked composed all the way through this game, all of a sudden under pressure.
Raggett attacked it. They put it away, Charlton. Washington. Could the break be on here? Morgan, Washington ahead of him. That's who it's found. Brilliantly taken, and fabulous covering from Hume. Came across to make that very difficult for Washington as he was about to unleash it.
Johnny Jackson is going to be fuming if Charlton don't walk away with the 3 points. They've had far and away the better quality of chances throughout this game.
Signed Scott Fraser today, really good attacking midfielder from Ipswich. His 4th signing of the window. He'll certainly play a part in the second half of the season, but for now the focus is on getting over the line with a couple of minutes of stoppage time to play. Jacobs. Little drop of the shoulder again from Jacobs. Hume lifted up again to the far post. Will it come through for Romeo? He just desperately tried to dig out a cross. The cheer is from the away end because they didn't pick out a teammate, and they're getting closer here, Charlton. Craig McGillivray, Pompey Player of the Year last season, in no hurry at all against his former club. Played every minute for Portsmouth last season in League One.
He was a brilliant servant now. Don't forget the EFL Trophy final that they lost against Salford. He was like a one-man blockade in that particular game. Many a good game for Portsmouth.
Now desperate to keep them out in the closing stages. A couple of good headers there. Zunu well up the pitch to launch this one. Just over the head of Jacobs. Comes out to Thompson. Well, probably only time for one more meaningful attack here. Can Charlton hold out? Pinch a point right at the death. Curtis, Morel. That's a decent looking diagonal. It's a very decent header as well from Bamwa. Oh, he's managed to dig out a cross, helped on by Robertson. And there is the full-time whistle. It's a first away victory in 6 for Johnny Jackson and Charlton. They've closed the gap between themselves and Portsmouth to just 2 points. Charlton's revival under their new manager continues. Washington with the goal in the first half. A controversy about it because Aniki was clearly offside from the first header. The flag stayed down. Clark Robertson, the Pompey captain, with the own goal midway through the second half to double Charlton's advantage. And even though Pompey did pull one back through substitute Michael Jacobs, the home side couldn't force an equaliser. So 3 points for Charlton Athletic and for Johnny Jackson. Huge disappointment for Portsmouth, who may well find now that the playoffs are a target too far. It's finished at Fratton Park. Portsmouth 1, Charlton 2.
Yeah, a big win for Charlton, disappointment for Portsmouth and their playoff hopes this evening. Joby McAnuff is alongside me. Joby, you said it was a huge 45 minutes for Portsmouth, but Charlton doubled their lead and didn't look too troubled to the final, 10 minutes, did they?
No, not at all. I think certainly from Portsmouth point of view, a few questions to be asked. They started the game okay, certainly the brighter of the two, and finished strongly. But certainly at Fratton Park, and I think what the fans expect of Portsmouth Football Club, they need more than that. And it's the in-between part, I think, that will be the real big concern. Yes, they had a bit of a go in that last 15 minutes. The subs made a good impact, came on, obviously combined to get a late goal, and it was a bit of an effort at getting back in the game, but it's easy to do it at 2-0 down, Michelle. You know, they've got to do it earlier on in the game and try and take more command of games than they are at the moment.
Looking dejected, great win for Charlton, but just for Danny and Nicky Cowley, are they getting worried about their form at the moment and perhaps their future?
Well, you look at what happened to Lee Johnson, and you know that's the standard at those big football clubs in this division. You know, they expect success and they demand it. So certainly, I think off the back of last season and disappointment of not getting in the playoffs, that was the minimum requirement and expectation at Portsmouth Football Club. And the more they fall behind that, of course, the more pressure there will be.
Yeah, a great night for Charlton though, and Johnny Jackson. This is what it means for the League One table. And Charlton climb up to 14th, 36 points from 28 games. Johnny Jackson has really pulled them out of the trouble they were finding themselves early on in the season. But as for Portsmouth, yes, they have now just a game in hand around those teams in their playoff places, but the gap remains 11 points, and those playoff chances are starting to look slender. Well, plenty to look forward to midweek this week on Sky Sports Football, starting with Hibs against Hearts tomorrow night, and on Wednesday it's the Old Firm derby. Aaron Ramsey has just signed for Rangers. Could he feature in that? Could that be his debut? What a place to make your debut. 7 p.m. on Sky Sports Football for that one. And of course, it's the last day of January, so transfer deadline day continues now on Sky Sports News. Stay with myself and Joby with plenty of reaction and analysis coming up for Portsmouth and Charlton fans to see how this evening's game unfolded. Connor Washington giving his side the lead, and then it was doubled via an own goal from Robertson for Portsmouth. Portsmouth got one back, but it wasn't enough. All your reaction on the way. A good night for Charlton. They took the lead through Connor Washington in the 31st minute. Chukwuemeka possibly offside with the first attempt. Looked it for sure, but the linesman said no, and Charlton had the lead. They doubled that lead in the second half when Sean Clare crossed and Clark Robertson turned into his own net. Portsmouth got one back when Ronan Curtis crossed for Michael Jacobs, but they couldn't find an equaliser despite going to the end. Johnny Jackson and Charlton taking all 3 points this evening. From Connor Washington and Corey Blackett-Taylor with Emma Saunders.
Connor, Corey, the fans are obviously absolutely delighted with that, but what about yourself? Some relief, Connor, when that final whistle blew?
Yeah, definitely. It was a good performance all round, I think. Probably didn't see the game out as well as we might have wanted to, but obviously it's a tough place to come, and they were always going to give it their all last till sort of 10 or 15 with us having the lead, but the fans are absolutely brilliant and they deserve it.
This was it. It was quite a dominant performance from yourself. So have that 2-goal lead. Did you feel a little bit of panic setting in that last 10 minutes or so?
Yeah, we knew that once we were 2-0 up, they're going to come at us, but we knew that we needed to defend well, and I think that we did towards the end. So I'm glad that we've seen it through.
Take us through the first goal yourself. What happened when you had the ball at your feet, and also, once it went in, was there any hesitation whether it might stand? Because it seemed like there was a bit of a delay in that celebration.
Yeah, you're always, when you score those goals where you're just a couple of yards out, you're always thinking, am I off? But it was nice to be in there, nice to be scoring those type of goals. I've not scored enough of those, so obviously good. Nice to have Chucks back in the team. We create chances just from having him in there, really. But I thought he was excellent and nice to score, and obviously even nicer to get the win. Yeah,
and Corey, the second one, whilst it will go down as an own goal, what about the build-up and the sort of team effort that went in to get yourselves into that position?
Yeah, things I've been working on in training is paying off in games. So Sean getting on the overlap, we've been working on that in training, and I'm glad that it's starting to pay off now in the matches.
Away form is something generally that this side has struggled with this season. Was there something that clicked especially today for you, Connor?
I'm unsure, really. I think us scoring the first goal was really important. I think especially when you come to places like this, you don't want to be 1-0 down here. So I think that was really important tonight. We've probably not done that enough, and we've been probably wasteful away from home, I would say. So yeah, nice to get the first goal, and an even better performance to see it out in the end.
You alluded to the noise you can get inside Fratton Park. It's certainly in your first half performance, Corey. It looked like when you were driving forward, that was actually something you were really relishing. These fans here and really having to give it all you've got as the visiting team.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like our away fans are always behind us, and we fought it through the first half. The game plan was for me just to keep going and doing what I'm good at. So I'm glad that I was managed to do that today. Just
finally, it still does leave you quite some distance from the playoff places, with the cup competitions over for you for this season as well. Where does this leave Charlton for the second half of this season, Connor?
I think the manager alluded to it before the game, to be honest, that we needed to start reeling teams like this in that are above us, and we've got some really important games coming up now, Bolton, Wigan, Wimbledon as well. We just need to keep putting points together, to be honest, and see where it takes us. I think that's all we can do.
Playoff place is something that's still in sight for you?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we've put 2 wins back to back now, so just need to continue it and see how far we can get.
Well, listen, your congratulations. It's your Man of the Match award today. So, Connor, if you wouldn't mind doing the honours, thank you.
Right.
Well done. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
If you're watching us on Sky Sports main event, up next, it's the final hour of the transfer window, and Jules and Vicky will take you through it all on Sky Sports main event. Transfer deadline day is coming up. Joby's been busy today, you've been across that, but you've been watching the game with us this evening as well. We'll take it back to the first goal when Charlton opened the scoring this evening. And we watched this, we went, well, that's offside. Connor Washington said himself, oh, well, you don't know when you stood there if it's offside. But it wasn't himself he had to worry about. Chuck Sonika here, he's offside, isn't he, Joby?
Yeah, he was clearly offside. Again, I've got to come back to Danny Cowley will not be happy. This is from a set piece. We know they're really big on set plays, but here you can just see Chuck Sonika gets the wrong side of the defender. It puts him in an offside position. Great ball in, nevertheless. Bazuna's really unlucky, and as a goalkeeper, when you make that save, you're just hoping to get a bit of help. But how often will we see the striker's the first one to react, and Connor Washington with an easy tap in there?
Yeah, I guess that's what all good strikers do. And then they got their second, and that little bit of a cushion that all teams want in the 64th minute. I mean, look, Clark Robertson won't want to see this back. But what's interesting is Sean Clare is a centre-back that crosses this ball. So is this something they've been working on in training all week?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what he gives you, Sean Clare, from that right-sided centre-half position, ability to underlap. You see the wing-back wider. It's a ball into a really dangerous area. And as you say, Clark Robinson can't do too much. He's got to try and make a challenge, and unfortunately for him, you can see how disappointed he is putting it in the back of the net.
Yeah, horrible. Really good finish at the wrong end of the pitch. The subs did have an impact for Portsmouth, though, and with 11 minutes of normal time remaining, it felt like they were back in it. And from here, it was the best they seemed to play all game, wasn't it, Joby?
Yeah, it definitely gave them a lift. Ronan Curtis, we spoke about him at half-time, potentially coming on and making an impact. And again, it was a really nice pick-out. And, you know, Michael Jacobs, another one who came on. All three subs came on, like you want them to do, have a positive effect on the game. As you can see, he just gets his head up, has a little look, nice little pick-out. Can the keeper do a little bit better? Yes, I think a stronger wrist. But for me, it was a little bit too little, too late, and certainly didn't do enough in the whole of the game to warrant getting an equaliser.
Yeah, let's have a look at their chances overall, because if Danny Cowley's going to try and take something from this game, I'll take a look back at these chances throughout and wonder, are these the moments that we should have done more?
Yeah, again, listen, I think these early ones in particular, you get the first goal and it is a completely different game. I think as the game went on, as we saw towards the end, they did put more balls into the box. They did put Charlton under more pressure. This one here from Ronan Curtis, for me, you expected him to hit the target, just flashes it wide. And there were some nearly moments, but overall, I think it would have been really harsh on Charlton if they hadn't have gone on to win the game.
Yeah, Corey Blackett-Taylor was pretty good tonight. We saw some of his stats just now when he was receiving Man of the Match award. Deserved it, didn't he, from what he did tonight?
Absolutely. Really positive, great energy, athleticism, you know, down that side. He had a really good battle with Marlon Romeo. I mean, this one here, absolutely electric run. He just absolutely takes off, and it's difficult to do when you're on the run at that speed to hit the ball as cleanly as he did. He was really unlucky with that. But always a threat, gives them really good width. This is him coming inside and gets a shot off that was travelling, good block in the end. But yeah, really positive outlet. It's been a big part of what Johnny Jackson's done there in terms of not just using the wing backs to get them width, but it really forces the opposition back, getting them into these advanced positions. And again, tonight, I thought he was absolutely really, really good performance.
Yeah, deserved receiver of Man of the Match. Well, up next, we're going to be hearing from both bosses, certainly with contrasting feelings tonight. Danny Cowley frustrated on the touchline. Johnny Jackson made plenty of notes. They were probably happy as his team won. We've got the managers for you next. An 8th League One win for Charlton and Johnny Jackson since he took charge in October. We can hear from him now. He's talking to Emma Saunders.
Johnny, having been pretty comfortable for a large proportion of that game, it was a bit of a nervy finish, wasn't it? So some relief, I'm sure, when that final whistle blew.
Yeah, big relief, final whistle. I thought we should have been out of sight in the game. I thought we played really well, really good professional away performance, and countered on them very well, and should have scored more goals. But when you don't, you're always open to that one. They get one there, and then you know they're going to put you under pressure here. Balls into our box, you know, from deep corners. When they attack that end, they really attack with, you know, with a lot when they're chasing the game. So to see it through, I thought my team defended brilliantly towards the end.
Yeah, what was so key with seeing that through and that game management in the last 10 minutes or so?
Yeah. And I think they deserved it. So I'd have been disappointed for my players first and foremost for you know, if we didn't see it through because their performance warranted more. And obviously the supporters as well, I'd have been gutted for them because the way they got behind the team tonight, and they deserved that victory too. So it was brilliant that we could deliver.
Talk about the 2 goals. The first one, ultimately, Connor Washington getting on the end of it, making sure it found the back of the net. I just spoke to him a minute ago. We talked about a bit of a delay, just checking whether it was going to stand or not. Was there any doubt in your mind?
I couldn't see from here. I think it might have been offside, to be honest, from the original cross. That was what it looked like when I saw your monitor there. So that one's gone our way. We have had a couple of late. Thinking back to the game at Crewe a couple of weeks ago where we scored a last-minute equaliser, what for me should have stood and didn't get it. So probably shouldn't have stood that one, but we'll take it. Plus, I think we've done more than enough to score, at least 2 goals there. So obviously, I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, of course, he's not going to be complaining about that, Joby. But what does the rest of the season now look like for Charlton? Because they're 13 points off the playoff places, which seems a lot, but there's always one side that goes on a run. Could it be Charlton? They've got some quality in that squad. Yeah,
listen, there's some really good teams above them. It is a gap, but certainly as a manager, you need to give that group something to shoot at. I think it will be a little bit more of a short-term goal at the moment. I think the first one was getting away from that relegation zone, which they've done with ease. The next one, I think, for me, for Charlton certainly, is to get into that top half of the table, which they're not far off now. If they can do that in the next couple of games, then all of a sudden you are now looking up at the teams above you. And I think being an outsider, probably not a lot of pressure on them, given the situation they were in when he walked in there. And, there's a lot of games left. There's a lot of points to play for. I think particularly if you can take points off those teams above you, they've done that today in Portsmouth. So, listen, I'm not going to rule it out. It is going to be difficult. But certainly the form they're in, if they can show that for the next 18 games, they're going to give themselves an outside chance, certainly, of making a fist of the second half of the season, which I think if you'd have said that early on, I don't think many people would have said they'd had any chance of that.
I guess that's the reason they made a change and Johnny Jackson came in. Initially, it was only an interim basis in October, but he did enough then to become the permanent manager. And since then, he's done really well. 8 wins out of 15. That's impressive. Served his time as under Nigel Adkins and Lee Bowyer before that. What do you make of his start so far? And are we looking at a promising young manager in the game right now?
Oh, absolutely. And, it is difficult when you go in and you've been at a club. All the players know him. He's been an assistant manager, so your role has changed. I think the thing he's done best really is really put an identity and his identity on that Charlton team. I think certainly from the fans' point of view, they didn't really know what a Charlton team looked like under Nigel Adkins. It was changing formations, personnel, and what he's gone in and said, right, this is how we're going to play. This is the personnel that is going to perform. If you are performing, you'll stay in the team. You've got the shirt and you earn the right to keep it. So I think certainly he's building something there. I do like what he's done. The way that he's going about it tactically, I think has been spot on. He had that initial bounce, had a little bit of a bump in the road, and then it's that test, can you come back through that? And certainly at the moment, they're showing signs of doing that.
I just wonder, when you have that personal connection with the club, like Johnny Jackson does, former captain, is it sometimes a little bit harder to divide yourself from the emotion of the job and the day-to-day stuff? Because you've spoken to me before about how relentless it all is. It's such a change, and he's wanted this for so long. How will he cope with that sort of longer term now?
I think that's the bit that the experience comes into it, and certainly for a young coach, manager, you're only going to get better with the more opportunities, the more games, the more experiences. Let's have it right. He had a really difficult situation today with Mason Burstow. With that interest that he's had to deal with, there are things that as a young manager, nobody can teach you. Do I pull him out? Do I not? Do I want to keep him in the squad? He's had to make a decision that he felt was best for the group, and it's turned out to be the right one today. And when you have got that personal connection, you're desperate to do well. It does mean more because he's played for the club and been an understudy to other managers there, and I know he's desperate to do well for Charlton. I think the Charlton fans are desperate for him to do well as well. So at the moment, going really well, and he's doing a really top job.
OK, let's hear from the losing head coach tonight. Danny Cowley is with Emma Saunders.
Danny, the late goal, it set up quite a tense finish, didn't it? How disappointing is it to walk away empty-handed?
Yeah, tough night for us. First goal was very important. I thought we had a good way into the game and had a good place. Then conceded the goal. It looked offside. I'm told it was, which is which is frustrating and disappointing in equal measure. But then our response off of conceding was nowhere near good enough. It's happened a few times here for us this season. When we concede, we need to show much more resilience, much more determination, much more grit in a difficult moment, and we have to come through that adversity better than what we did tonight. And yeah, we finished in a positive way, but tough night for us.
Is it coming a bit of a concern for you, because you alluded to it there, that it's not just exclusive to tonight? Perhaps this could be a bit of a wider mentality issue?
I think for us, when we concede here, we find it difficult. Yeah, that's happened enough times for me to be able to say that, and it's something that we have to keep looking at and try to rectify.
When you look at, though, the response once you did get a goal and get back into it in that last 10 minutes or so, what clicked? What can you take forward from that?
Well, I think the subs come on and had a good impact. Michael Jacobs in particular, I thought did really, really well. Unfortunately, he'd been ill all week, so he off the back of Sunderland, he didn't train until yesterday. So that made it tough for us to be able to play him from the start, because certainly his performances in recent times have warranted that. But no, there was like I said, a good way into the game. Probably need to take the chance. One or two of the chances that we created in the early moments. Have to respond better off of conceding, and then I suppose we take some positives that we once we got one back, we had a strong finish. But we're Portsmouth Football Club, we're a proud football club, and we have to play better than that.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
Yeah, tough times for Danny Cowley and Portsmouth. They're 10 points off, worse off rather than at the same stage last season going into this game. And now after the game, they find themselves still 11 points off the playoff places, Joby. We've just talked about Charlton and their playoff hopes, and you said, some teams do go on a run, but the way Portsmouth are playing at the moment, can you see them making the playoffs?
Not on the balance of that whole performance today. I think they've got certainly players in there capable of going on runs, and they had been on a decent run before this little patch that they're in now. I think when I watch Portsmouth, I just feel like they are restricted, particularly at home. He I thought was spot on there and nailed it really, in terms of there was that apprehension after they went a goal down, and as soon as 70 minutes, make a few substitution, it was like, right, we've got to have a go at it now. And I'd like to just see Portsmouth play with a little bit more freedom at times. Is that anything the manager can do when the players are out on the pitch and they're feeling that pressure that we know can come with playing at Fratton Park? But certainly I think that's what he's got to be demanding, because when they do play like they did in the last 20 minutes or so, they're a really good team to watch and they created some good opportunities, but they need to do that over 90 minutes, not just in fits and starts.
It doesn't get any easier though for Portsmouth. Oxford up next, who thrashed Gillingham 7-2 at the weekend. I think they scored 4 penalties. But for the Cowley brothers, for Danny Cowley, are they starting to feel quite a lot of pressure now? I mean, I thought I was really interested about the mentality and how the team feel it at Fratton Park when they go a goal down. Yeah,
but it's something you have to deal with. We talk about all the big clubs in this league, and there are some huge football clubs. We talk about it all the time, and that is part and parcel of playing for Portsmouth. That's part and parcel of managing Portsmouth Football Club. You take the good with the not so good, and that might be that little bit of pressure, but certainly from a playing point of view, it's a brilliant place to play your football, and certainly they've got to be trying to embrace that pressure and use it to their advantage, because we know how powerful that can be once you get those Portsmouth fans on your side, and it can be a tough place to go. At the moment, they're not using that. It's actually probably working against them a little bit.
Yeah, that's tough. Well, Joby, thanks as always. Plenty to look forward to on Sky Sports over the next couple of nights. Hibs against Hearts tomorrow evening for you on Sky Sports Football. And then a massive Old Firm derby on Wednesday. Aaron Ramsey could be making his debut in that for Rangers. He's signed for them this deadline day. Celtic Rangers, 7 p.m. Sky Sports Football. Then Friday night, your championship action comes from Birmingham against Sheffield United. And we're into the final hour of deadline day. Get Sky Sports News on for all the latest. Well, Portsmouth's playoff hopes rather fading fast, but a great night for Charlton. Good night.
Sky Sports Football. Feel it.